Finally, the fastest racing on earth is back as the field paddles to green and we are racing in St. Pete. Scott McLaughlin immediately going on the defensive. It's a good start from Marcus Ericsson. A good look up the inside from Dennis Hauger. Do they make it through cleanly? They all appear to do so, and Scott McLaughlin holds the lead from the pole, and Hauger has lost one place, and that is to the champion, Alex Palou. Big move on the rookie, and that is another position gained, but a crash, and big crash behind. There's two cars in the barrier. Stingray Rob, I believe, is one of them. Full course yellow. Oh, and that is Mick Schumacher in there as well, and Marcus Armstrong.
I don't think that's Marcus Armstrong.
I believe Stingray Rob and Mick Schumacher all together there as Mick Schumacher launched off the back of Ferrucci. Emma Dixon, wife of Scott Dixon, looks relieved.
Guys, we talk so much about turn 1 being chaos. The thing about turn 4 is it tightens way up. Turn 1 is so wide. You can run through there 2 wide, 3 wide. We saw 3 wide through turn 4 just ahead of these cars, but once one gets into the barrier, it usually bounces back. Half the track width is gone, and there's often some innocent bystanders in that.
So let's take a look at everybody weaving down into turn 4. Keep your eyes towards the rear of the field. That's where it's all going to happen.
You see that 3 wide happen before. Okay, so it's Ferrucci and Stingray Rob side by side going in, and Mick Schumacher just an innocent bystander there.
We ride on board here with Santino Ferrucci. Listen to the tire squeal.
That's the tire squeal from Stingray Rob, who was all locked up on cold tires and just kept going straight.
But here, this is on board from Stingray. You can see immediately he locks up that outside front first, the left front, and just so much speed, head of steam. Ferrucci nowhere to go.
On board with Graham Rahal, and there you see Stingray lunging in there, locked up.
Ferrucci had gone long as well. He had locked up. And you see the tire smoke up in front, and Siegel able to just stay low and out of the problem.
McLaughlin gets his foot to the floor. We have a green flag, and once again, we're racing. Riding on board with the pole sitter and our race leader on the run down to turn 1. Malukas with a big lockup down into turn 1. Almost contact from behind by Romain Grosjean as again they file through the tricky turn 2 and turn 3. And I'm hearing that Stingray Rob, who did manage to continue, will be given a penalty for avoidable contract.
Yeah, easy call there for the stewards. As we see a big lunge now, that's Will Power on the inside of Kiffin Simpson. He's on those hard tires, and you can tell on the exit, trying to get back to Power. TWJ AI on board showing us now, looking back at Kiffin, who's been having a great weekend himself.
Nice to see Will Power confident and aggressive early. It's been a tough weekend for him, finding the balance and the chemistry in his new team, but in the cockpit, we know he's fierce, making moves. He's up to 13th.
And not just confident, Townsend, confident on the brakes, which has been the #1 issue on that 26 machine this weekend.
Well, not just for Will Power. We saw the Malukas lock up there. Stingray obviously with a massive one there at the start of the race. So several drivers trying to find the feel of those front tires as we take a look at David Malukas. Just recently here in turn 1, there's that left front. That's a big flat spot, James.
Yeah, that's not gonna feel great once you're going 180 miles an hour. You can see he gets onto that paint, and as soon as he crosses onto the paint, that left front, oh, you can see the vibration in the wheel.
Yeah, that's going to make for a long first stint, Will. If the vibration is as big as I would expect, it's kind of a miserable situation with about 25 laps still to go until his first scheduled pit stop.
No such problems for Scott McLaughlin, leading by just under a second from Marcus Ericsson, who has his mirrors full of the one man that you really don't want to have stuck behind you. 4-time champion Alex Palou on the hunt. Alexander Rossi. Big moves from the start, up 7 places. Marcus Armstrong, Hinch, as you've already said, up 3 places, and he now sits behind Alex Palou. Lovely start from him. And the Dale Coyne drivers, Hauger, as Will Power has to defend from Kiffin Simpson, who's trying to take that place back. They'll go too wide. And Simpson does take the place back. That's racy from Kiffin Simpson.
We told you that they've been very quick this weekend, Kiffin Simpson.
Oh, that's a late move from Venus VK. Very late move on Carl Kirkwood.
And Marcus Ericsson, an Indy 500 winner. He's won here before as well on the streets, but his contract is up for renewal at the end of the season, as David Malukas, meanwhile, has had contact to the left front. I'm not sure if that's just a flat spot issue.
The flat spot may have worn all the way down. That massive flat spot we saw in turn 1.
Let's get a replay of that. Does he brush
did he
the
get
wall?
Into the fence? I think you're right, James. I think that's from the big
it's
lockup we saw in turn 1. And that flat spot just continued to develop into a much bigger issue.
It's a flat spot leading to a delamination of the front left.
Yeah, he didn't hit the wall with the front, so that's just, when we talked about that being a big flat spot, here's his onboard. Yeah, you just see it start to go.
Now what he's got to do is do anything he can to try to nurse it, get to that apex. Is he going to make it? No, he's got to take the overshoot.
Galling luck for David Malukas, and it all stemmed from that moment down at turn 1 a few laps ago. A big emerging story while we were away. Will Power in pit lane, damaged rear suspension, seemingly out of the race after contact with the wall. What an unfortunate weekend for Will Power on his huge headline move to Andretti. We ride on board with the driver of the 26 car, and it's turn 10 where he crashed in practice.
Unbelievable. This is the exact same crash as practice. Carbon copy.
And carbon fiber going everywhere.
Wow.
Been struggling with the brakes all weekend long. You just wonder if they weren't able to get them to a place that gave the driver the confidence and the comfort he needed. You see him standing there talking to Ron Rzuski, talking to his engineers. Just so tough.
Yeah, frustrating as a driver to be in that situation. And, you know, he's got so much experience in this sport. He's the most successful driver in terms of one-lap performance. That comes with incredible aggression on the brakes to deliver the lap time. He just doesn't have the feel to trust it.
And Kevin is down on pit lane, and I believe has Will Power with him.
I do. Will, what happened?
Felt like the same issue I had the other when I hit the wall. Exactly the same problem that we've had. Feel really bad for the guys. We were doing such a, car was really good, and yeah, it's just plagued us all weekend, this thing, and haven't been able to, well, we fixed it for qualifying. Feel really bad.
Thank you, Will.
Get a replay back on board with Will Power again. He won't want to watch this. As he said, same problem he's been struggling with all the way through the weekend. But guys, it's going to take time. He's been with Penske for nearly 2 decades, moving to a brand new team. So much to learn and understand from a new perspective.
But how do you fix it? There's no time. We go to Phoenix next week, straight into Arlington, another street race, huge braking requirements. Then we're at Barber. I mean, so much going on so quickly, James. You just don't get a chance to test. So he's going to have to learn on the job at the race weekends under fire. Meanwhile, his teammate firing on all cylinders. Marcus Ericsson has been closing the gap to McLaughlin.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I was just going to say what an incredible job Ericsson is doing. He's running in that dirty air. That's Marcus Armstrong on your screen. Ericsson a little further up on the dirty air. He has been doing a great job managing those tires, keeping that gap nice and tight. Palou right there with them. And the three of them not pulling away from this guy here, Marcus Armstrong, who had that phenomenal start, Georgia, and is keeping tabs on the top 3.
And I talked to Marcus Armstrong before he jumped in the car. He said he was calm, cool, and collected. And something big for them this year is consistency from last year. Pretty much everyone on his stand is the exact same. They had a year to grow together. Big crash.
Big spin down there at turn 1, and that is Christian Rasmussen in the ECR, who had made up a ton of places and was racing so well. As now Newgarden and Simpson go side by side, and Dixon will try to go round his teammate as well. Can't find a way through, but Newgarden pouncing opportunistically and making up another place. Great stuff from him. Up to 12th, having started at the back of the field.
And we stay green. Christian Rasmussen able to get the number 21 machine going.
Good job getting through there. Let's stay in touch with the 15 and the 27 ahead.
Dixon making a move on his teammate Kiffin Simpson up the inside of turn 10. Dixon pushing forward. That'll put him into 13th. Remember, Scott Dixon pitted on lap 2, took fuel. How many times have we seen that strategy work for this guy?
But the leader is in. Scott McLaughlin on pit road. Marcus Ericsson takes over at the head of the field, and waiting for Scott McLaughlin will be Kevin Lee.
And it has gone according to plan so far. When I checked in with the team, they simply wanted him to go long, and they didn't want a caution somewhere in the late 20s. So they are in position to potentially be able to do this on a two-stopper. This is their used set of softs. They still have a set of new later on, but can they make this used set last long enough?
McLaughlin pits, Grosjean pits, Newgarden pits, Graham Rahal pits as well. So Marcus Ericsson now leads this race from Alex Palou and Marcus Armstrong. We sit on board with Joseph Newgarden, one of the biggest leaders in the race, one of the biggest overtakers in the race so far. Joseph Newgarden, who started from his worst ever qualifying position here of 23rd.
But this in lap from Ericsson is everything right now. Such a good job from him to save enough fuel to make an extra lap. Now he's going to be coming into pit lane, Jack. It's all down to what happens in pit lane.
It sure does, James. This is a critical part of the race with that group being so tight. In and out laps, absolutely huge. Marcus on his stand has Robert Wickens, just been inducted into the Canadian Racing Drivers Hall of Fame. It's a really strong group. Marcus is a race winner here, no doubt going to get it done. Dennis Hauger has gone to the new soft tyre. He might be a rookie, but he is not showing it today.
Marcus Ericsson on used soft tires as he comes down pit lane. We'll be looking for the car, the deck Chevy of Scott McLaughlin.
And there
it is at the apex of one.
Turn 1, Ericsson exits the pits and will exit ahead of Scott McLaughlin. That is essentially for the lead of the race.
For now, because Ericsson's tires are cold.
Oh my word, that's
like
close.
That is not the time to throw the big block, Marcus. Here comes McLaughlin.
He's not racing, Rossi. He should not have lost that much time. Now McLaughlin's got 1 lap of heat in his tires. He's got, it's softs to softs. The tire compounds are even, but it's big pressure now to get off of turn 9 right here for Ericsson. Can he do it clean?
Ericsson needs to have eyes forward, but eyes in his mirrors. McLaughlin will be all over him with his tires up to temperature. Can McLaughlin make it through at 10? Has a look. Ericsson has it covered.
Ericsson did that little bit of
power. He's hit the wall.
Hit the wall with his right rear. I think he'll be okay if he can hang on. It wasn't that hard of a hit.
It wasn't that hard of a hit, but it's going to give him a little bit of hesitation here into 13 and 14. Car looks really hooked up. Front end turning around there. Good launch off the corner.
But how much of a run did McLaughlin get off that final corner? Tucked up in the slipstream behind Marcus Ericsson. Doesn't look close enough to have a look at the moment. So Ericsson will hold that position over Scott McLaughlin, but critically, Alex Palou has managed to stay out, and I think Marcus Armstrong has got ahead of both of them. Was that Armstrong leaving the pits?
I think you're right. Here he goes.
It was. Armstrong goes to defend. There is contact between them, but Ericsson barges his way past. Barges past, but loses part of his car on the way through. That's a critical move for Marcus Ericsson.
This has been a dicey couple laps for Ericsson, but he managed to hang on, and now he's got cover because Armstrong's on cold tires. McLaughlin is held up. This is so important for Ericsson to get away.
McLaughlin hunting him down through the turn and looking to 10, and Armstrong defends. McLaughlin will have to go around the outside. You can't fit 2 down there. There is a touch. Armstrong somehow holds on.
Armstrong holds on. How did McLaughlin hold on? I have never seen an outside pass in 10 work. That was unreal. The Kiwi on the Kiwi.
Meanwhile, guys, Alex Palou on pit lane. The number 10 DHL car just stopped and serviced and leaving. This is about to get even more crazy as Palou blends out.
And Palou blends out with ease, far ahead of Marcus Ericsson. He's got almost the entire stretch of the run down to turn 4.
Wow.
Those extra laps, we call that the overcut. When you run longer in a stint than the guys you're racing, you get that lap on hot tires going quick while they're getting up to speed on cold tires, and it has that crossover. It's been so impressive.
Not only is Palou doing the overcut, but with everybody racing hard there, they lost precious lap time in the skirmish, and Palou laughing all the way to the bank right now. Georgia.
There is action all over this place right now. Palou, when he came to the attention of his crew, went from softs to another set of used softs. He said, do not touch the front wing. Palou is extremely happy with that car.
And Palou's a guy that normally defaults to primaries, as Scott Dixon is now in the pits from the lead. He was a little bit off strategy.
And who will lead the race now? It's Louis Foster, who was struggling with his tires earlier, pitted back on lap 22. to change off his starting tires, but he leads this race, and he leads it on merit from Rinus VeeKay and Alex Palou.
He does, but he will likely have to make 2 more stops to make it to the finish. All of the lead cars like Alex Palou, Ericsson, McLaughlin, just 1 more stop, we think, to get to the end.
Oh, Dixon's lost right rear.
Tire.
There you see the right rear bouncing further down the pit lane, sitting up on there.
That's going to be a full course caution. There it is. And that's going to hurt the likes of Foster, VeeKay, Rossi. Luckily, had Palou not yet pit, he would have been absolutely hosed on that. The timing was so fortunate. Alex Palou once again.
Yeah, the fortune, the luck that favors him. James, explained to us why, for the likes of Foster and Rossi, why is this caution now detrimental to their race?
Well, they were hoping to sort of gap some of the drivers behind them because they are going to have to do that extra stop. They've done a little bit off sequence. Now they're going to have to pit under caution. They're going to lose so much. But let's see a replay. Dixon right out of the pits,
was
down into turn 4.
You can see the wheel nut.
Yeah, there's the wheel nut.
And that is a very uncharacteristic mistake on the pit stop, and he knows it. Look at him looking in his mirror. Dixon knows something's wrong right there. Oh, what a save, though.
Yeah, great job to hang on to it.
And Alex Palou will lead the field back to green. Scott McLaughlin weaving around, trying to get some heat into his tires as Ericsson has a look at the champion. But they're all in neatly to turn 1 as looking up the inside. I think was Hauger perhaps having a look at one of the McLarens. But it's Palou who leads easily as now the 2 Kiwis once again. I love this. It's Armstrong and McLaughlin. McLaughlin in 3rd, Armstrong in 4th. That feels like a battle that's going to rage all the way to the checkered flag today. But McLaughlin straight on the pace and wants to make his way straight past Marcus Ericsson. He's definitely got the pace in that car.
It's looking like a red race based on the decisions that we're seeing from guys right now. The top 8 all on those soft tires, and we have a car. That is...
It's Stingray Rob again.
Stingray Rob.
Gets it going.
In turn 8, I believe.
So we stay green.
All right, we saw what Marcus Ericsson was able to do with Scott McLaughlin in front, kept pace and was making better fuel mileage. What can he do with the champion in front of him? Palou used to be his teammate when they were both at Chip Ganassi Racing a few years back, so he knows what this guy's capable of. He's seen the playbook from the inside. Is there anything that he's learned, Townsend, from his time as Alex's teammate he can try to use to his advantage here?
Well, he knows that he's going up the very best as we ride on board with the Delaware Life Cam here. You see the little front bar adjustment on the previous straightaway. Marcus Ericsson's going down with his right hand and adjusting the front anti-roll bar. It looked to me like he was pushing that forward, which would be stiffening up the front roll rate. Meanwhile, his teammate, Will Power, and I like this call from the team. Look, we are in, as I said before, successive races here, back to back. We've got 4 out of 5 weeks on the road. You don't want Will Power to miss all of this track time and getting acclimated to the new team. He's got no chance to win today, no chance at a podium, but get him back out there and get the GBs out of the system, if you know what I mean. He just had another incident on track, and let's have him finish strong with his head high.
Good on the brakes, really nice. Can he get the launch? That's
Better
a
launch.
Lovely exit.
Better than last
way
lap.
better.
He's got a nice draft.
2 cars become 1 as McLaughlin ducks out of the slipstream, rolls up the inside. How late on the brakes dare he be? Late enough, and that's 2nd. Lovely stuff from Scott McLaughlin. Now he has to go after Alex Palou.
Just clinical. I mean, Marcus didn't want to defend there.
So he's overtaking, but keep pushing.
Because you could see, it's just a fade out there from Armstrong, not close enough to do it, but you could see on the front straight all the marbles, all the discarded rubber that collects on the hot tires, and you don't want that if your car's not handling well. Right now it seems like Ericsson's lost a little bit of the handle.
Oh, for sure. Now you got McLaughlin getting clean air and pulling away. He's going after Alex Palou. Ericsson now in a massive battle for the final podium position as they approach this last set of stops. Ericsson might come to pit lane. I might pull him in now, James, if he's struggling this much. They're in the window.
You could do it from here. Certainly, he was quicker, I think, than McLaughlin on those hards on the primary tire, but they have to run another set of softs. It looks like now Ericsson under pressure from Armstrong.
Kirkwood comes into pit. Ericsson defends from Armstrong. Big push towards the wall, but Armstrong fights his way past, brakes too late. Ericsson continues on. The McLarens now will try to take advantage of it. Pato O'Ward onto the back of Marcus Ericsson. That was a big push towards Marcus Armstrong, who will be furious.
Now big defense from Ericsson against the McLarens, and O'Ward gets passed by Lundgaard.
Yeah, Christian Lundgaard making the move, and I really like the call to bring in Kyle Kirkwood and go for the undercut, because Kirkwood was all jammed up here.
And these guys have been driving so slowly, fighting each other. This is really playing into Kirkwood's hands. Ericsson absolutely has his hands full. They've got to bring him in.
Struggling now as Lundgaard fights, and Lundgaard takes the opportunity. That's marvelous from the McLaren man, tidy through 10. Ericsson is struggling. They have to bring him in because now O'Ward needs the move. O'Ward wants the position.
A couple of these blocks from Ericsson have looked pretty aggressive and might come under the review of race control, especially what happened down in turn 1. Here comes Ericsson to pit lane along with Armstrong.
Armstrong will be fuming.
They're going to be,
move.
Andretti's going to be kicking themselves for not bringing Ericsson in a lap sooner. Armstrong's going to be kicking himself for that move. That's 2 unforced errors that cost him positions, 1 in turn 10 and 1 down there in turn 1. Now we see the 28 in the pit stall. Jack, how's it look?
He's actually already been in, James. He's already on his way back out. The biggest thing, they went with the new red soft tire. The end of that stint was getting pretty dicey, but to be on the podium in this series, that's what it takes.
Certainly does.
They put on the new tires, but how much more work is he going to have to do through all the time lost on those old tires at the end of his stint? Palou leading from McLaughlin. 14 seconds is the gap, and Palou chooses now to pit. Race leader on pit lane. What tires does he put on? And can he take this thing to victory? Georgia is standing by.
Palou is going to put the hard tires on. Remember, he went soft, used soft. Now this is going to be a hard tire to the end for him. He told Barry Wanzer he wants a half turn less of wing in the front, but this pit stop is going to be ever so important for him to get that lead and keep that lead. He's off.
A couple of turns of front wing for Alex Palou as well.
About as smooth and clean as it gets. The only thing between Alex Palou and victory right now is traffic that he has to navigate through as he comes out right in the thick of it.
And who's behind him? I think that was Joseph Newgarden. Can Newgarden play spoiler for his teammate? And here he is. Newgarden's found his way past Alex Palou.
I don't think he's going to hold him up 14 seconds, though. That'd be a pretty tough thing to do, but it was the right call to get the 10 in. Once some of the other leaders started pitting, you don't want to be exposed to a yellow flag and get caught, so they did the right thing at the right time. Palou can really just be on cruise control at this point.
Hey, guys, fastest lap, last lap, Kyle Kirkwood, and it was the fastest lap of the race. Kirkwood in the 27 is flying. In the transition here with everybody, Kirkwood's got a great shot to get to the podium. McLaughlin, Kevin, coming to you.
He needs Shell 100% renewable fuel, and he's also got a set of the new softs, the red sidewalls. That's the hope, to maybe the tire advantage can catch up. Also thinking about championship points. The gap really increased for second. Big turns to front wing for the new softs, and McLaughlin is away.
McLaughlin is away and back down pit lane. In comes Pato O'Ward. Team ready for him.
Here's Kyle Kirkwood coming through turn 1. McLaughlin exits. They're going to blend right at pit out.
Whoa,
this is going to be super close. Kirkwood is flying, the fastest car on track right now.
And he has fresh rubber. McLaughlin goes defensive, forces Kirkwood to go the long way round. Can Kirkwood do it? Oh, it is almost a carbon copy of McLaughlin and Grosjean from a few years ago, but Kirkwood is smart to it and fights his way past.
There was contact there. I wonder if Kirkwood's right rear is okay. Hopefully no puncture. He is away and smooth, and everything looks good.
Oh no! Right rear puncture for Kyle Kirkwood. Oh, the team says it's okay. Team says he's okay.
Well, Kirkwood just said right rear puncture.
I'm just looking at the tire, trying to see if that sidewall is flexing at all. I mean, he seems to be going okay right now. Let's
Here's a
take a
replay
look.
on board with McLaughlin. There's definite contact between the front wing of McLaughlin and that right rear.
But you see the live shot in the corner as we see a second angle of the replay. He stayed out.
And it's those carbon fiber end fences from the front wing that are just like a sharp knife sometimes. And hopefully Kirkwood was just checking with Brian Herta and didn't see anything on his dash to suggest a puncture. And I've given Christian Lundgaard, on occasion, the nickname Lungeguard because the lunge from Lundgaard is so effective. He's one of the best drivers in the series at thrusting into the corner on the brakes and making a pass happen when drivers least expect it.
And now McLaughlin has a look, and now McLaughlin goes up on the inside of Kirkwood. That's second place back for McLaughlin, and can Lundgaard take advantage as well? They run side by side into the final sweepers, and he does! It's third place for Christian Lundgaard, and Kirkwood drops from second to fourth.
Super brave pass from Christian Lundgaard to go the outside too wide through that very fast kink.
Very brave, and look right here, both those guys in the middle using their push to pass. Kirkwood as well, 51 seconds for McLaughlin, 41 seconds for Lundgaard. But if Lundgaard has more fuel, he's going to have more freedom to use that button. When you're short on fuel, the engineers...
Overtake now efficient. He's got 41 behind, 41.
That's what we hear, an efficient overtake. He is being allowed to use a little bit, but you're not allowed to use a full pull down the straightaway. That's little bursts out of the corners to get a jump, but you cannot afford to burn the fuel that comes with a full pull from turn 14 to turn 1.
So he has more push to pass, but because he has less fuel, he can't use it.
Take a look at this pass here from Scott McLaughlin inside of Kyle Kirkwood in turn 10, and now the papaya McLaren of Christian Lundgaard to the outside. High sketch factor right there. He just narrowly gets right back into the groove before hitting the marbles.
Great stuff. Instinctive from McLaughlin, and then just that reactionary pass from Lundgaard to take the advantage, take the position. Beautiful driving from those two.
This is the one I want to see right here. This was a bold move. Gets on the button. You see the green lights up on the dash and the turn in, the commitment. At this point of the race, that is a one-lane bit of racetrack.
And Kyle Kirkwood saved the day there for Lundgaard. Kirkwood could have easily stayed in the throttle as we see McLaughlin going past. But Kirkwood could have forced the issue right here. And if he did, it would have been Lundgaard hard into the outside wall.
He's got the pace, but can't do anything about it.
I'm wondering what we're seeing on the low screen, but up on top, Alex Palou takes the white flag and starts his last lap here in St. Pete. And James Townsend, it has been a phenomenal drive from Alex Palou. Last year's win owed so much to other teams, other drivers' mistakes, but this one, he has taken it by the horns and he's run it from the front.
We heard from his race team all weekend. Guys, what is the goal for this year? To improve. Well, how do you improve on the most dominant IndyCar season in history? I don't know, but they seem to have figured out how to do it because Palou is winning by 13 seconds, almost unheard of the way this race started, and with Palou not starting on the front row, absolute magic around here.
Look, his career's really been defined by a lot of wins on road courses, by far the biggest. Only 2 wins on street courses so far, but that's where you improve, and that's what he's done.
The best has returned, better than ever. The question remains, how do you beat this man? Alex Palou makes it back-to-back wins on the streets of St. Pete. McLaughlin still ahead of Lundgaard. Will hold him off to the line. The pole sitter comes home second. Lundgaard,
Well done.
12th to 3rd. Will be delighted with that. That is your podium.
He said, we are so back on the radio, starting 2026 with a bang. Welcome to the 2026 season. How much did you miss this feeling?
Amazing. Like, I cannot really tell you. It's been an amazing off-season. Everybody at CGR and Honda have done a tremendous job. And yeah, I don't know what to say. The car was unbelievable today. Felt like those Firestones were like everlasting. Like they would just keep going. I had an amazing car today. A lot of power, so yeah, cannot thank these guys enough.
Congratulations from Chip Ganassi himself, and well-deserved. Almost a 13-second lead there. It's been a long off-season. There have been rule changes. The goal was to improve. How did you do it?
this team, it keeps on improving, keeps on making new changes, and they just keep on raising the bar. So it's pretty impressive. Long season in front of us, but what a great way to start this season.
Chip, how impressed are you?
I mean, it's just, you know, obviously it's been an interesting off season on the track and off the track. It's all behind us now, and we're right back to where we want to be.
Congratulations, back-to-back for Alex Palou and Chip Ganassi Racing.